Give me one story that you think was just like, wow, it's just like
Hmm.
really resonated with you.
I'll tell you one from today
Yep.
that was awesome, right? So Casey and I, leading up to this weekend, when we would stream, we would do drills, right? Because I wanted to be able to complete a piece of artwork that I felt comfortable giving away to somebody
Yeah.
in a efficient amount of time, right? And we did this exercise where we quote found our failure, right? Okay, we're gonna find our failure because I know I can draw a Ninja Turtle. I know I can. I'm
Oh,
confident in that.
I know you can.
But can I draw one in 5 minutes? Can I draw one in 5 minutes and 30 seconds? Can I draw one in 6 minutes?
Yeah.
Can I draw one in 6 minutes and 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And so we started with the lowest number we thought was reasonable.
Right.
We're like, okay, whatever, 5 minutes. Let's try 5 minutes.
Right.
It was horrible. It was so bad. It was really bad. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like it was nowhere near where I was like, that's not an appropriate thing I
We're
want to
not-
give to some. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
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 No.
This person deserves better.
This person deserves better.
Right.
Yes. And so we found failure at
Yeah.
5 minutes. And like, let's do 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay. Found failure again.
Yeah.
5 minutes and 30 seconds
Yeah.
until we found success.
Wow. That's so cool.
Really cool, right?
Yeah, that's
right?
pretty cool. I like
So
that.
he can bust out an amazing piece of like graffiti art of somebody's name
Yeah.
in about 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I can render pretty much, I mean, I know a Ninja Turtle, but I've had lots of options from other people that just throw whatever at me in about 5 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
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 And I feel really good about that. I'm comfortable giving it to him, and we get to spend that time just hanging out.
Yeah.
You know? So in that leads up to what I'm going to tell you now. This couple came into the tent, right?
Yeah.
And they had not heard about the organization except that it was the title of the festival, right? They're just like, oh, cool, HeartSupport Fest, whatever, you know. What do you guys do? So I told them about the support wall. I told them about art and stuff, and they're like, oh, cool. And they were gone. They left. Came back later, and the wife was like, I wrote something up on your guys' support wall because I just couldn't stop thinking about it after you had told me about it. And I thought it was really powerful. And I don't know what you guys are doing on like what is this stream? What do you guys do? It's just completely oblivious to what we're doing, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we're hanging out, and she's like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I like to do creative encouragement. I like to draw stuff for people because I feel like I have that gift and that ability, and I just want to make people smile, you know, and tell them they matter. And she's like, will you draw me a bumblebee?
A bumblebee?
A bumblebee. And she's like, I have a tattoo of a bumblebee right here. That particular animal is really significant to me. And I'm like, I would be thrilled to draw you a bumblebee.
Yeah.
Come over here and have a seat. So we hang out. We're chatting. Her husband's sitting next to and so I'm chilling, just doing my thing. Just drawing, sketching out. I'm like, why is the bumblebee so significant to you?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, it kind of goes into what I wrote on the support wall there. Because 2 years ago, I was in this horrible relationship. My ex-husband abused me to the point where I got kicked out. I had to take my 2 kids and leave and run. I was in a homeless shelter with literally the clothes on my back, and all they could give me was a blanket with bumblebees on it.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
And so that's what I used to keep my kids safe and my family warm at night in this house full of strangers. I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No way.
You're not doing that.
And
wow.
And so I was like, this is awesome. You know, thank you for sharing that with me. And just did my usual thing.
Right.
And just drew this thing.
Yep.
So we have this cool moment. I give it to her, and she's just like, this is amazing. She was very grateful, just so grateful, so just oozing gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got tears streaming down her face. I'm crying because she didn't know that like domestic violence was a part of my story as well.
Right.
And that got that opportunity for me to share, like, I can resonate a lot with what you're talking about because my mom was abused and we had to leave our home and we had to go on our own for a little bit. We weren't in that same situation, but
Right.
like,
Yeah.
my gosh, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we connected on that.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was really
wild.
powerful and really
Yeah.
cool. And so I got to tell her after I made that thing that like, you are a good mom.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that your kids have a mom who loves at the caliber that you love.
Yeah.
And you are so important.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine the awesome stuff that you're going to teach your kids about that experience. That's going to make them better humans when they grow up.
Right.
And you should be freaking proud of yourself
Yeah.
because you are capable and awesome and loving and all that. It was just so cool, right?
That's wild.
And that was great. She swaps places with her husband, who's this huge dude, right?
Yeah.
Like looks like Mac, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Big
wow.
big ex-army guy, right?
Yep.
And he sits down, and he was just like, that was like he just watched this whole thing happen with his wife.
Yeah.
And I drew this thing for her and
Yeah.
stuff, and he was like, I don't even know what to ask you, like I don't even know what to ask of you, to draw something for me. That was awesome, and I would like to have something awesome, please.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, man, but I got to tell you, I told myself going into this event here, if somebody told me they didn't know what to do, I'm just going to default to Ninja Turtles. Because guess what? I like drawing Ninja Turtles.
He's like Michelangelo.
And I was like, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle, dude?
Yeah.
And he's got his shades on, and he goes, I love Ninja Turtles, dude.
Oh.
Will you please draw me Leonardo? And he starts crying.
What?
He just starts weeping. And I'm
What?
like, okay,
What?
this is interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I know I can draw Leonardo
Yeah.
in 5 to 6 minutes.
Right.
Right? I know I
Right.
can
Yeah,
do
you
that.
got your
And I'm
timer,
like, I'm going to do this real slow.
Yeah.
I spent all this time trying to do this so fast. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to hang out with this dude as long as possible.
Yeah.
Because if that came out of a question that I asked about him, what was his favorite Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
We're going to hang out for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have a little
And I'm like,
conversation.
what is it about? And he's like, leadership, man. And like,
Oh wow.
I had to take care of my brothers when I was like really young because my family separated and all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, guess what? My parents separated. I had to take care of and we just
Yeah.
had this again, instant
Isn't that wild?
instant connection with two people from very different backgrounds,
Yeah.
but aligned perfectly in my story too.
It-
Isn't that? And we had, dude, the most legit conversation. We're all crying.
Yeah.
We're all just like encouraging one another,
Yeah.
and like he's an ex-army dude, so I like hooked him. Like, you should go talk to Mac, dude, because he's
Yeah.
got some awesome
Yeah.
insight on like your background. I'm not an army guy, but like,
Yeah.
hope you like your Ninja Turtle. Like that's kind
Yeah,
of what I can
right.
do.
Yeah.
And they just left so encouraged and blown away.
Yeah.
And before that, they didn't know about the organization.
Yeah.
We were strangers, and when
Yeah.
they left, they were fully engaged and invested in what we were doing, and left as friends.
That's unreal.
Which is
Right.
what else would you want out of an experience, And it was
And you know what is really
it was wild.
you
it
know
was
what
so
I'm
cool.
I'm
It was so
hoping
cool.
for too about that is that like were they married or they were just a couple?
I think they are married.
Yeah. They're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, they are.
You know? Like
Yeah.
they're gonna talk
They're gonna
about
hang out,
you
yeah.
got your bumblebee? Tell me about that bumblebee. I want that story. I want to know
Yeah.
more about
Yeah.
or
He knew for sure.
and
Yeah.
he's gonna have to talk about his Ninja Turtle.
Right.
And
Right.
and that's the thing about I think that's one of the things about Heart Support is like it's just important for us to like talk and communicate and
Yeah.
share and
Yeah,
open up
yeah.
and it doesn't always have to be I mean like that's raw like those two situations that's very raw.
Yes, they are.
But that wouldn't happen at a regular festival.
No, it wouldn't.
It just wouldn't
It's not
happen
possible.
at a regular festival.
It wouldn't have been possible. Yeah.